Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and today we're going to be talking about the Justice League. I'm going to be doing a full-on spoiler review while also it's kind of putting a lot on my plate, but I'm also going to be responding to Jody's Corner's review of the Snyder Cut. I have to say, I mean, it's really interesting, like the position that I'm in right now as a YouTube blogger. The DCU fan base has become so toxic and so divided. And it does have, in some ways, the inability to admit, like, flaws on one side, in terms of what Zack Snyder has done with this universe, the flaws there. That's where this whole thing has been divided from that basic place, from Man of Steel. It's been divided. And I've always said it didn't need to be divided. You could have had Zack Snyder's movies, but just with, the heroes themselves in them. But we come to this place now. And I was watching Jody's Corner, the review he did for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I was laughing my ass off because he hit every single problem I had. Problems that I thought, this is going to be so... I'm so smart, I figured out this problem and nobody else is going to see that problem. And he nailed every single fucking one of these problems I had with this movie. But what he didn't do, I think, in my honest opinion, is be unbiased about the movie. And we can see I'm not blaming him. I know he's got his own personal opinion. I have no hatred or whatever dislike of Jody. I'm just saying we've got to be honest about this movie and what it is and what it isn't. No matter what we think of Zack Snyder, no matter what we think of Man of Steel or BVS, we have to judge this movie on its own merit. And knowing the story of the movie, understand why this movie, I'm sorry, is so damn good. It has a ton of flaws, but it is undoubtedly a technical marvel and masterpiece in filmmaking, in constructing action, in displaying. I have never, as I said, this is a full spoiler review. You can't imagine, and I would have never thought of it as a person who's very, very interested in film. And I think of myself as times as quite inventive in terms of, thinking of how you can depict, certain characters. I would never have thought of constructing action scenes in which the Flash moved like this. He shits on every single, speedster ever. I've always looked at the scenes of Quicksilver in the X-Men movies and people saying, oh, he's amazing, and just asked why. I don't think it's amazing at all. All they've done to show us speedster's power is just slow things down. Zack Snyder used all types of inventive methods and visualizations in order to show how Barry Allen Flash manipulates the Speed Force in this movie. It was fucking incredible. To be alive during this time, to know that there are Flash fans who have passed away and never got to see this, just saddens me. because they would have been in tears. They probably waited their whole life. People who were reading Flash comics in the 1940s and 1950s and always wanted to see Flash done right. He's done right in this movie. And I'm just using Flash as an example here. Okay? So I'm going to go through absolutely all of the flaws in this movie. I'm going to go through them. I'm going to be honest about everything in this movie. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to say where it really failed and where it went well. And I think the thesis of this movie is Zack Snyder put on a leash. It is Zack Snyder put on a leash. And because Warner Brothers came in after BVS and before this film started shooting and said, Zack Snyder, you cannot do certain things, because Jeff Johns, everyone hates Jeff Johns, came in and said, you're not depicting Superman this way. You're not doing certain things that you've been doing in these movies. We are not allowing it. They came in and did that. They were able to get all of the best out of Zack Snyder in most 90% of the body of this movie. It was Zack Snyder on the leash, being able to, and Zack Snyder paired with a competent screenwriter, as opposed to, the screenwriter from this was Chris Terrio, as opposed to David Goyer. That made a huge difference. People might say, oh, well, David Goyer, Chris Terrio wrote the script for Batman v Superman. Yeah, very true. But all the best bits of that script were Chris Terrio. And the bad bits, which was the structure of the story, was actually from David Goyer. That's where I was always pulled between, I half like Batman v Superman, but I really half don't like Batman v Superman. This time, Chris Terrio, the Oscar-winning Chris Terrio, got to write this from beginning to end, and clearly the man is incredibly intelligent, and you could tell it in the dialogue and storytelling and structure of this movie. The only time this movie goes off the rails is where you see the reshoots in this movie, where Zack Snyder was given, again, full control, i.e. scenes with Martian Manhunter, which I'm going to be talking about later, and then scenes with the nightmare the post-apocalyptic nightmare world of Apocalypse, where Earth has been taken over by Darkseid. That is where this movie goes off the rails. But before then, for the most part of the body of this movie, this is Zack Snyder's best ever work. And I'm going to start just by, before I go into each one of these characters that I want to talk about and the best parts of the movie, I want to just say this, that in terms of why this movie is so good, it's because this is the first time Zack Snyder has bothered to put the Justice League in a Justice League movie. Now, again, I say that with some caveats, because there's problems with it as well. I can't fully make that claim, but it's, to a large extent, this Superman in this movie is Superman. Pa Kent is Pa Kent in this movie. Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman in this movie. Batman is Batman. They are these characters. Before, what he was doing in BVS, and it shows so much in this movie, what he was doing in BVS and what he was doing in Man of Steel was basically taking characters that were more akin to the Watchmen, like turning Superman into a Dr. Manhattan, alien, detached kind of the confused, conflicted anti-hero, as opposed to the incorruptible beacon of hope that he's supposed to be. Here in this film, I can't believe it. I've railed on Henry Cavill's performance, thinking this is definitely Henry Cavill's fault. Like I looked at him in other films and I'm like, dude, this dude doesn't have the charisma to pull off Superman. I was wrong. Henry Cavill did his shit. In this movie, I, for the first time, believed in Henry Cavill as Superman. He was better as Superman in this than in Justice League. Everything that was reshot in Justice League, it was quite good, but I still thought, he's just doing a fake Christopher Reeves impression. In this one, he created and crafted his own Superman that is the Superman from the comics. It was comic accurate, apart from one thing that Zack Snyder has to always harp on and do, which really, really pisses me off. I can say the same with Wonder Woman. This is the Gal Gadot, is interesting. I see her as like a female Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock, right? We're not talking about a great thespian here. What we're talking about is an actress who has so much charm and charisma that, and she's so close to Wonder Woman herself as a person, as a personality, at least from what it seems on the surface of things. She seems so close to what Wonder Woman is in the comics anyway, that her kindness and humor and heart shines through in this character, even beyond some of the darker places that Zack Snyder tries to take her in this movie. The Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg were all exceptional in this movie. I like where Zack Snyder took a Batman in this movie, and I'm going to go through all of the characters. But one of the things I want to say that is an absolutely batshit failure of this movie that really, really hurt it is all of the Justice League killing. And I'm not saying this as a fanboy just to be like, the Justice League doesn't kill, the Justice League doesn't kill. It doesn't suit the scene. It doesn't suit the inspiring character that you're creating. There's this scene of Wonder Woman, which is 10 times better than the Justice League version, where Wonder Woman comes in and saves all these school kids from this insane maniac cult. But instead of Wonder Woman just beating them up, which we all want to see, we all want to see Wonder Woman beat some people up. That's cool. We like Wonder Woman beating people up and doing it in style. Especially when it's like men, they're 2 times her size and she's just throwing them around like rag dolls. We love to see that shit. But does she have to kill them? Especially, she killed all of them in front of these kids. She could have easily just, there's no way they would have, she could have gone, busted them up, broken all their guns, left them, knocked out without having to fucking kill them. And then she goes over to this kid and after saving the kid, and she kneels down to her, and it's a wonderful scene, which Gadot, again, it's not the acting. I believe Gadot in that particular instance, Gadot was actually kneeling down to this little girl in real life and telling this little girl, you can be anything you want to be. It was genuine. And Gadot does this inspirational, little kneel down with this little girl. And you think, that's a wonderful scene of showing Wonder Woman as this inspirational force. But unfortunately, it's ruined by the fact there's a guy just behind her with blood pooling from his head. Because Wonder Woman the hero to children, has just murdered. She's become judge, jury, and executioner of these people. No due process. No going through the courts. What if one of these guys was mentally ill? What if one of these guys was being manipulated by this cult leader? And she's just decided on her own authority that she's of them. It's wrong. It's the wrong message to send out with these aspirational, inspirational characters. But apart from that, apart from this killing, and I really wish they hadn't have had the Justice League kill, she was wonderful in this movie. Superman's doing the same thing. And I'll get to that in a minute, but we're going to go through all of the characters. But that's some of the Zack Snyder-y kind of things that hold this movie back from being a perfect Justice League movie. So now let's talk about the characters, because that's what's really kind of important here. And we're going to go through them. And, I want to say again that Jody has some really, really good points about the flaws in this movie, but he's exaggerating them, man. He's gassing them way out of control, because most of this movie is Zack Snyder, as I said, on a leash. Clearly, you can see a complete aesthetic difference and a difference in how these characters operate from what we got in Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. These characters in this movie operate much, much more heroically and seem much, much more like the characters of the Justice League rather than the Watchmen. As I said, Superman in previous movies like Batman v Superman looks much more like Dr. Manhattan than he does the Superman that we all know and love. In this movie, for the first time, we had the Superman that we all know and love, and it improves the movie vastly. So let me go through all these characters. So the first thing I want to say about this movie and the script is the fantastic job that all of the supporting cast did in this movie. Every one of them was standout. I know Amber Heard is getting a lot of hate, probably rightfully so, probably deservedly so, but she was excellent in this movie. And the things that they got her to do, she has one really standout action scene with Steppenwolf that shows just how powerful she is at water bending, which I just thought was incredibly inventive. And everything, basically, just to go off, just talking about Amber Heard and Mera, everything in Atlantis was better. Everything in Atlantis was much more better and much more interesting than the actual Aquaman movie. The way that William Dafoe was playing Volko in this movie was far superior to what we got in the Aquaman movie. Clearly, the Aquaman movie was going in a totally different direction that seemed far, far more interesting and compelling than the Aquaman movie we actually got, which was much more of a Saturday morning cartoon that completely went off the rails in the third act. It was messy as fuck, the Aquaman movie, full of exposition, full of just characters that the dialogue, everything was bad. It was like James Wan was just like threw his hands up. This isn't the movie I want to make, but I'm going to do the best I possibly can with a trash script. And that was Jeff Johns coming in, telling him, like, no, we want to do it this way. We want to go, I know Aquaman better than you. And I know this because this is what he actually said. Jeff Johns is actually quoted as saying this, that he came in and changed how the Aquaman movie was going to be. And when I see what is in this Justice League, the little glimmers that we were going to get of the Aquaman movie and how it was supposed to be, it makes me very, very sad. Now, don't get me wrong. Let me say this and make it clear against Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers' approach. These single solo characters should have got movies before this Justice League movie came out. Period. And it would have helped the DCEU massively. and given Zack Snyder time to really understand what this universe was about before he just launched in to a Justice League movie that he had to make 4 fucking hours. I was sitting here with a friend watching this movie, and he was enjoying it immensely, but even he was getting irritable because it's 4 fucking hours. And the reason it has to be 4 hours is because you're introducing 4 different characters. But Zack Snyder makes this 4 hours rather pleasant for any DC or comic book movie fan. Going back to this, seriously, if you're a comic book movie fan or a Justice League movie fan, I think 90% of you will like it. And it's reflecting, I'm sure these Snyder fans are, affecting the scores on IMDb. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they've gone out of their way to, basically create multiple accounts to affect the scores on IMDb and also Rotten Tomatoes. But I really do believe like 80% of people who like the Justice League and like comic book movies would like this movie. So I think critics who are telling you, oh, don't watch this movie because it's garbage or because it's just the same as the Josh Whedon cut, are just lying. They're just straight up lying, and it's adding to this toxic environment. Come on, guys, just give it up. Just give it up. Admit it. I was against Snyder. I didn't like what he did in Man of Steel. I didn't like what he did in Batman v Superman, and rightly fucking so. Those movies had significant problems. They had interpretations of Superman and Batman that just didn't hit home, that weren't that made those movies, just they failed to capture the spirit and why we love Batman and Superman. But this movie is very, very different. It's leagues different. And we know why it's different, because the studio interfered and told Zack Snyder, you can't do certain things. They came in with Jeff Johns, who's, a comic aficionado. And before he went insane and went along with, Warner Brothers' plan to hijack this movie and get Josh Whedon to cut it down to 2 hours, he obviously was doing some good things and tempering some of Zack Snyder's worst impulses. And this film is, I know that that Jeff Johns has a lot to do with why this film works. I'm sorry, he does. Yes, he went off and he afterwards and he did some crazy shit, with the studio, with Kevin Sugihara, with Josh Whedon, and Josh Whedon as well. Sorry, again, Jody's right about this. Sorry, Josh Whedon isn't to blame. Josh Whedon is not to blame for this. He did the best he could. I watched Justice League again just a couple of days before, and I'm watching this movie, and yet every scene Zack Snyder directs better, because he knew with the, I think Josh Whedon just had the raw footage of Zack Snyder, and he didn't know how Zack Snyder was going to manipulate all of these images to make them that much more epic and grand. And so the way he actually depicted these characters was, the way he actually did these scenes, Josh Whedon, it made them, it just deflated them. It took all the grandness out of them, because what Zack Snyder was actually trying to do with all of this, which is not Josh Whedon's kind of wheelhouse, is he was trying to make this grand mythology. He was trying to make the Justice League essentially the Olympian gods. And he did it. He made it work. He made the Olympian gods into the Justice League and made them exist in modern day, in our world. And he did it beautifully. So all of the shots, the raw footage, most of the stuff that was used in Josh Whedon's cut is actually the stuff in this movie. And some of the stuff in Josh Whedon's cut is actually a little bit of an improvement on the movie in terms of the characters' dynamics with each other. There was a little bit more conflict between the Justice League before they agreed to resurrect Superman, for instance, in Josh Whedon's version, which actually I think was a good idea. I think Wonder Woman wouldn't be just like, oh, let's resurrect Superman when he's dead and we don't know what's going to happen and if he's just going to be uncontrollable. I don't think Wonder Woman would just risk that in the same way that Batman would. And that conflict was good in the Josh Whedon cut. So Josh Whedon is not, he might be a villain for other reasons that we don't know about behind the scenes, and he might have done some things that I don't know. And Ray Fisher still hasn't given a lot of compelling reasons for us to think that Josh Whedon did anything beyond what the studio asked him to do, but did it in a bit of an arsehole-ish way. But nonetheless, I'm not talking about any of that stuff. I'm just talking about the film Josh Whedon created and made. He is not the villain for doing that. Kevin Sujara, whoever brought him in, whether it was Jeff Johns who suggested it, whoever brought him in, they need to take a lot of the responsibility for trashing this movie, because there was no way that that Josh Whedon, with his style of filmmaking, he made a great Avengers movie, but it's a different style of filmmaking. He doesn't see these superheroes as Greek gods in the way that Zack Snyder did, and that's what Zack Snyder was trying to achieve in this movie, and he achieved it beautifully with everything from the score to the music to everything, so that it came together as this grand Greek epic in modern day superhero filmmaking. It was fantastic. It was really, really fantastic on that level. I just wish that at the same time he had tempered some of his more violent and dark impulses when it comes to these characters and made them a little bit, just more heroic. Let's have Wonder Woman maybe not kill everyone. But like going back to the cast, because this will help me center my thoughts. So as I said, the Aquaman stuff was just fantastic. So William Dafoe as Volko, brilliant. So much better than he was in Aquaman. Amber Heard was better as Amira in this than she was in the Aquaman movie. So much better. She put on some English accent. Most people were saying they didn't like it. I kind of like it. I kind of dug it. I kind of saw it wasn't a spot on English accent, but she's not actually English. She's Atlantean. So it's just some alien language. Maybe that's just how they speak. So I liked it. I thought it was good. And I definitely like what William Dafoe did. All of the supporting cast, maybe not Jared Leto. We're gonna go to him. Jesse Eisenberg was very good as Lex Luthor. Again, his pun game was on point. Not, if you didn't like him before, you're probably not gonna like him now. But I've always liked Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I thought he was good. I wouldn't fall on my sword for him. I would definitely be fine with recasting him, but I thought he was good in this movie. Jeremy Irons, just the relationship he has with Bruce Wayne in this movie is just all of the scenes with Bruce Wayne and Jeremy Irons as Alfred are fleshed out, and they have it's really interesting because this reminds me that when I was watching Ben Affleck as Batman in this movie, for the first time ever, I forgot I was watching Ben Affleck. And I just felt like I was looking at Batman and Alfred. That's how good the dynamic was with these two. And, he did things with Wonder Woman, which was great, like great little scenes with Wonder Woman, where he's like teaching her to make tea and stuff like that. And it was just fantastic. All of the stuff with Jeremy Irons was great. Steppenwolf was sorry, I'll go to Steppenwolf last. Diane Lane, this makes me really miserable. So Diane Lane was the best ever in all of the movies. And she has one of the best ever scenes for Mark Kent in all of Snyder's movies. And it was so annoying. I was like, yes, she basically is encouraging Lois that, you know, like Mark Kent is, because she's strong. That's why Superman has grown up to be Superman, because even though he's died, even though she's lost her son, Diane Lane as Martha Kent still is strong enough to be able to carry on with her life. She's lost her farm, she's lost her son, she's lost, you know, her husband, but she's that strong that she can still continue on to live her life and still motivate Lois Lane. And then guess what? It's fucking Martian Manhunter. And it's General Swanwick. Okay, so I know General Swanwick. Look, I know for a fact that Zack Snyder never planned to make General Swanwick fucking Martian Manhunter in Man of Steel. He never planned that. That was a fan theory that he's just turned into something that he's now made, you know, part of the film, and it makes no sense. It's not good casting for Martian Manhunter. I love Henry Lennox, but sorry, he's not Martian Manhunter. He's too old to be in the Justice League. I'm sorry, I'm being ageist or whatever, but no, Martian Manhunter should be the same age or just a little bit older than the rest of the Justice League. He doesn't need to be like that much older than the Justice League. And no, you know, you want to. I'm not going to go into it, but I just don't think that that's good casting or a good idea. It doesn't fit in with Martian Manhunter's story from the comics. I don't fucking like it, and I especially hate that he ruined Martha Kent's strongest scene. Diane Lane's best performance in this whole movie was ruined by the fact that they changed her into Martian Manhunter. But nonetheless, when Superman is resurrected, Diane Lane comes, and again, the parents do so well in this movie. They're my favorite thing about this movie. Every single one of the parents of the Justice League members were added so much emotion and depth to the heroes that they represent. To be honest, I'm not even lying. The supporting cast and the actors playing the parents were better than the acting. You know, whether they were playing the parents or love interests, they were better at acting than the actual Justice League themselves. But so they elevated all of the Justice League members by fleshing out each one of their worlds. And Diane Lane was doing fantastic. And Pa Kent for the first time in any of Zack Snyder's movies. And again, I know this was Jeff Johns' influence. For the first time, was actually saying Pa Kent stuff, encouraging his son to be better. To use what he can do, not just his superpowers. I'm not just talking about his superpowers, just being a good person in general. That's what he teaches. That's what he actually teaches his son, to do better. In the world, even beyond the powers. Just do what you can do to be a better person. And he was telling his son the right things. And so was Jor-El, as well. But it was just so beautiful to hear for once. Pa Kent, Kevin Costner, telling Superman, just as he's about to take flight, you can hear Superman listening in his head, remembering his father's teachings and his dad teaching him, you can be better, you can be good, son, you can be a force for good in the world. It was 10 times better than anything he said in Man of Steel, and it was tight, bruh. And in 2 minutes, Superman isn't in this movie a lot. That people are making that complaint, dude. In about 3 minutes of Superman being on screen in Justice League, I cared for him more than I cared for him in 2 garbage performances by Henry Cavill in Man of Steel and in Batman v Superman. I cared for him so much more. He was a better character. He was Superman. And Henry Cavill, this is his best performance as Superman by a country mile to date. And anyone trying to tell me, oh, this vindicates, or this is the arc that Superman was meant to go on to get to here, so that finally I'll care about him, fuck you. That is bullshit. Man of Steel was a failure in terms of making us care for this Superman, making us care for this Clark Kent. It was terrible in terms of that. And so was Batman v Superman. And I like Batman v Superman, but Superman was trash in that movie, and he brought down the whole movie, talking about, no one stays good in this world, Lois. Superman was never real. What the fuck are you talking about, Superman? Anyone telling me, oh, it was developing for Superman to become more? Fuck off. Superman had about 10 lines in BVS. You know, the man, compare the amount of lines that Superman had in Batman v Superman, or Clark Kent had in Batman v Superman, compared to Jeremy Irons, compared to Lex Luthor, compared to Ben Affleck. Superman was hardly in fucking Batman v Superman. Even when they added the 30 minutes, all Superman was doing was walking around on a boat quietly looking over a harbor. He wasn't in the movie. Clark Kent was a non-existent character. All people were telling Clark Kent was, you're a geek, you're a nerd, you know, putting Superman down. You're not relevant anymore. If it was 1938 and things cost a nickel, then you'd be relevant. But it ain't 1938, and Apple ain't buying stocks no more. All of that bullshit, putting Superman down in the dirt in BVS, made it impossible for you to care about Superman, to the point where when he died in Batman v Superman, I did not give a shit about him. In 2 minutes of him returning in Justice League, I cared about him more than anything I've seen before. Now, when he came back and he was, do I have some problems with Superman? Yeah, I do. He's way too powerful. He's still too OP. He's making the Justice League look like a bunch of pussies. I have the same problems. Wonder Woman should be able to give Superman a better fight. I don't like them Black Widowing Wonder Woman. Everyone, look, basically, Aquaman is helping Wonder Woman pull down Steppenwolf. Are you fucking kidding me? Steppenwolf is grabbing onto, she's broken the kind of bridge, or with her gauntlet, and she's fighting Steppenwolf, who's trying to go after Cyborg, and she lassos him, and she hasn't even got the strength to pull him down. It's like, come on, man, you've got to treat Wonder Woman better than that. She's your biggest female fucking character. You have a female audience looking there. William Moulton Marston created Wonder Woman to be, all right, I understand she's not physically as strong as Superman, but that she's got warrior skills and she's very strong. Are you trying to tell me right now, to all those people saying, oh no, it's fine that Wonder Woman's like much weaker than Superman, you're trying to tell me that Feora should be able to beat the shit out of Wonder Woman? Are you trying to tell me Supergirl should easily be able to beat the shit out of Wonder Woman? That a Kryptonian scientist who's just landed on Earth, who has no fighting skills, just in virtue of being a Kryptonian, is that much more powerful than Wonder Woman, the daughter of fucking Zeus? Who shouldn't be the daughter of Zeus, but that's another fucking thing. That is trash. That needs to be fixed. Wonder Woman needs a power upgrade. Superman needs a power downgrade, because he's making the Justice League look like a bunch of pussies. He's making Aquaman look like a bunch of pussies. That was not fixed in this film. I didn't like it. So there's a lot of flaws. I mean, I'm not mixed about this movie. I know that in terms of what I'm arguing now, those are little nitpicks that I feel can be improved upon in future. But the basic setup is that all of these Justice League characters act like they're supposed to from their comic counterparts. The only problem is they're killing folks. The only problem is Superman is way too brutal to Steppenwolf. I didn't mind him giving him a beatdown and punching, but he's gonna laser his fucking ear off. Come on, bro, and throw him to get killed and his head chopped off by Wonder Woman. I wasn't feeling that particularly. They could have punched the shit out of Steppenwolf. Wonder Woman and Superman could have gone in together, flying and punched him and smashed him through the through the boom box or boom, what the fuck is it called? Basically through the portal to Apocalypse. They could have punched him through there to show you don't fuck around with the Justice League, rather than chopping off his ear, chopping off his head, and all of that bullshit. Then when Steppenwolf comes through and is knocked out by the Justice League, Darkseid could have laser-eyed him with the Omega beams, killing fucking Steppenwolf. That would have been a much more epic scene. Why do the Justice League have to be doing this stuff? Anyway, I'm getting distracted with all the negatives. I should have done positives then negatives. I'm sorry. Going back to the supporting cast, all the Amazons were fantastic in this movie. I've talked about Diane Lane as Martha Kent, kind of ruined by Martian Manhunter, but she made up for it when she came back for Clark when he was dead, and how she treated him. Hippolyta, Connie Nielsen, did her thing in this movie. She was great, absolutely fantastic leader, warrior, a queen, mother, nurturer to Diana, and you saw all of it. The love. She didn't even have to interact personally with Diana herself, but you could see all the love and care she had for her daughter, and it was marvelous. Connie Nielsen, all of the Amazons, every action scene with the Amazons, fantastic. The Amazons were like much better depicted in terms of their warrior skills and the way they think. Now, I would make the Amazons, again, this is a little bit of a nitpick, have a few more like tools, whether it be magic or some science that they've developed. They need to have more weapons than they do, than just bow and arrows and shit, man. You know, like they're supposed to be one of the greatest warriors. They would have thought of this shit, knowing that, people have laser guns and all of this kind of stuff. They need to do upgrades to their weapons. But apart from that, Connie Nielsen, fantastic in this movie. Two that I especially want to point out. So Joe Morton as Silas Stone, and his and where's the mother here? The mother of Cyborg, the actress. I have to give her a shout out. So the mother of Cyborg is Jesus Christ. Where are you? Anyway, the woman who plays the mother of Cyborg, a British actress. Why is she so low down in the Eleanor Stone? Right. Karen Bryson, right, who plays Eleanor Stone, is absolutely wonderful. The scenes that she has with Cyborg and Cyborg's story, is so fleshed out, and it's one of the best in this film. I wouldn't quite call him an MVP of the movie. I liked him a lot. I like the fact that they fleshed him out a lot. I did feel for Cyborg. I do want a Cyborg movie. Like, I have some of my own personal issues with Ray Fisher, but Ray Fisher has never done anything I don't think he can't come back for, but he can't be forgiven for. He needs to, either expose exactly what terrible things these people have done to the world, so that we can say, along with Ray Fisher, yes, these people have done these terrible things, or he needs to just take these lumps and say, look, I can't prove it, but these guys were awful and they were assholes to me, and just move on with his career, because he's one hell of a talented young man, and it makes me proud to see such a wonderful actor, acting along these heavyweights and being one of the best people in the film, probably one of the best actors among the Justice League people. But his scenes with Eleanor Stone and Silas Stone, his father, are beautiful. I've never really got what makes Cyborg so special until this movie. It made me like Cyborg. Is he one of my favorite comic book characters of all time now? No, but I accept him. I actually accept him on the Justice League now. I still would rather Green Lantern. I still would rather Martian Manhunter, but I accept he's made me accept Cyborg on the Justice League. I liked him that much. He was that good. His stuff with his mother and his dad was beautiful, sumptuous, emotional. Anyone who tells you that this doesn't have any emotion, bullshit. Just look at every scene with Cyborg in this movie. Some of them will have you misty-eyed, how good they are. His final scene where his father is speaking to him. Oh my God. I was almost in tears. It was fantastic. I loved every little bit of it. Now let's move on to The Flash. We'll talk about The Flash through Kirstie Clemens. I am so glad this girl is coming back. And I'm so unhappy that I don't know where Billy Crudup is. He should be here somewhere. I don't care what they do. They need to get Billy Crudup in the Flashpoint movie. So at the moment, Billy Crudup is not coming back for the Flashpoint movie. And it bothers me a lot. Let me get a picture of him. Now there's a lot of things to go on. So I'm going to go to all of the Justice League in particular, but I just, because the supporting cast was so good, I have to give them shout outs, each one of them. So Billy Crudup, where are you? Why is it doing this to me? Area Allen. Okay, I'm just going to search him up, because this guy needs such a special shout out. I cannot. All right. Here we go. Billy Crudup. Martian Man, Mr. Dr. Manhattan himself, has slowly but surely been he's been singling himself out as an incredibly exciting actor to watch. And his performance, the amount of heart that this man gives to Flash's father, as Flash's father, as Henry Allen, just makes everything, he makes Ezra Miller so much better. He adds all the heart, because Ezra Miller is playing the humorous, Wally Westish kind of insecure Flash in this movie. And because of his relationship with Billy Crudup and the way this guy plays this downtrodden guy in prison who just wants his son to live his own life and give up on trying to get him out of prison for killing his mother, it is so fucking beautiful. It's so amazing. It really, I'm thinking like about it now, and it's getting me in tears, because Flash is one of my favorite characters, and I've always wanted to see this on film. And it makes me so sad that every Flash fan of the past who's passed away will never ever get to see this. this relationship, and it makes me so fucking violently angry that they scrapped Rick Fumiyawa's Flash movie, knowing that Rick Fumiyawa was the one who cast Billy Crudup. He was the one who cast Billy Crudup in this role, not Zack Snyder. He was the one who cast Kirstie Clemens, who also was even she didn't even I don't even know if she had dialogue, but already she just made me fall in love with Iris West just from her physical acting. Kirstie Clemens, excellent as what a out of the box great choice to make this spunky, fun, cool, cool version of Iris West that we've never seen before. The Flash, because of these little things and interactions with his supporting cast, he became better. He improved the most in this film. So now we're going to go on to the Justice League themselves before we go on to the real negatives of this movie. Because I want to start with the Flash himself. Oh, sorry. One other thing. Lois Lane was excellent in this movie. This is the first time I've actually felt Amy Adams from beginning to end as Lois Lane. I got it. I completely got it. And she's such a tremendous actress. She can do any role in the world and make it great. And I knew that from the beginning, but she wasn't given the good enough material in Man of Steel to do that. It was so forced, the relationship. Even Man of Steel's hardcore fans admit that the relationship between Superman and Lois Lane was forced. It was worse than it has been in the comic books, where Lois Lane doesn't know Superman's identity at first, where they have a little bit of a courtship, a little bit of time to flirt with Clark Kent and with Superman. That's all better. But she was good in this fucking movie. And in 2 minutes, she helped humanize, for the first time, Henry Cavill's Superman. So let's talk about now the MVPs of this movie. Now, let me tell you something straight up. Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, and Ezra Miller. None of them, apart from maybe Ray Fisher, right, would be my first choice to play the actual characters they're playing. If it were up to me to cast Aquaman, Jason Momoa ain't Aquaman. If it were up to me to cast the Flash, Ezra Miller is not the Flash. If it's up to me to cast Batman, Ben Affleck definitely ain't Batman. If it were up to me to cast Wonder Woman, I love you, Gal Gadot, I really do. But I would pick an actress who has a little, you're getting there and you've got great charisma and great charm. I would not pick Gal Gadot. Henry Cavill, it's an interesting one. I saw something in him today that I'd never seen before. But in total, I wouldn't pick him as to play Superman. They're not perfect. But I'll tell you what, they all did fantastic in this fucking movie. Every single fucking last one of them. People are ragging on Aquaman, Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa was playing that role, the cynic in the, this is a bad idea when they're trying to resurrect Superman. He's the one playing the cynic, and he plays the role to perfection, to a T. And, without Wonder Woman, being there, being also cynical about it, it makes him stand out that much more in Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League. He was excellent from beginning to end. He was much better than he was in Aquaman. I believed him much more as the character in this movie than I did in his own movie. And he wasn't even the problem I had with the Aquaman movie. But still, Jason Momoa was better in this movie. So I liked him, the cynical, badass. The one Justice League member at the moment that I do believe would be willing to cross the line and kill. He's the one I would believe as the killer in the Justice League, who doesn't give a shit about that. But nonetheless, absolutely fantastic. I've talked about Ray Fisher. I know why you were mad, bro. I absolutely know why you were mad. And they fucking crucified you in this movie. They ripped the soul out of your performance, and you were still good in Justice League. Ray Fisher was still good in Justice League, but man, everything here was wonderful. I did not. Okay, look, put it this way. After the Justice League, I did not want to see a Cyborg movie. I was like, Ray Fisher's a really good actor. I hope he has a great career. I hope he does a lot in his career and flourishes in other more roles that are more challenging for him, that will let him really flex his muscles as an actor. That's what I wished for Ray Fisher. Now I think Ray Fisher needs a Cyborg movie. I really do. I think you need to, I don't know how to sort the differences out. We need to stop the toxicity in this fandom. Everyone being against everyone, arguing over some bullshit. And Ray Fisher needs another chance because he's too talented. I was a hothead when I was younger. I can imagine doing stuff like Ray Fisher has done when I was younger. Maybe that's why he pisses me off a bit, because like I can imagine doing certain things like he did, getting pissed off, walking off from work when some boss pisses me off. I ain't taking it from you. Fuck you. I can imagine doing that when I was younger, and it wasn't always the most sensible thing to do. And basically, I just want this guy to have a good career. I wish the fucking best for him. And I just hope he gets a Cyborg movie, because he made this character interesting. I want to know where this character can grow. He's like an Iron Man, but like cooler. I in my opinion, I like him a lot. I like the whole origin movie that they did with him. Ezra Miller's the MVP of this movie. Heart, humor, soul. Ezra Miller, without them actually, everyone's always hating on Ezra Miller. Oh, he choked a girl. Oh, he did this. He did that. We don't know what happened in that little 7-second scene. I'm sorry. And that isn't enough to end somebody's career. Whatever happened, it's between him and the girl, and whatever legal thing. If it comes out that he did anything really, really terrible, then yeah, we can look into his career and what he's doing in movies. But until then, it's none of our fucking business. And Ezra Miller was fantastic in this movie. I saw currents of a good performance in the Justice League. I knew it. He has charisma, he has charm, he's funny, and he was the MVP of this movie. And not only that, fucking action of the Flash. The way Zack Snyder, this is why it takes it over to masterpiece for me. Because Zack Snyder's eye for action there is no one who can do action like Zack Snyder. I've never seen someone do action like this guy. It shits on every single Marvel movie. The only person I can think of that even comes close to doing stylistic action like this is somebody like, the guy who did Kick-Ass. And he did The King's Men, where there were action scenes in that movie that I just thought were incredibly inventive. But the only difference is this Zack Snyder has found ways of showing superpowers in movies that we have never, ever seen before. And The Flash was the absolute epitome of how this Zack Snyder can show superpowers like nobody else. And I went back and I watched Man of Steel the other day with fresh eyes, and I saw the way he was showing how Kryptonians moved, and I was just like, wow. And the way he shows Flash moving, Flash in the Speed Force, Flash traveling past the speed of light. Dude, this was a masterwork in action choreography. If this guy can sort out his worst impulses, his darker impulses, his need to impose his dark, cynical worldview on the Justice League, which most of the time in this movie he was capable of doing, then you've got a perfect blend of ability to do these action scenes fucking right and do them justice. Ezra Miller, heart, humor, the scene with him saving Iris West, the music over it. I didn't like some of the musical cues in this, especially when he went to using Zack Snyder used pop music instead of using like Junkie XL score. But when the Flash saved Iris, the song over that just made that scene so fucking beautiful, and it was so inventive to use that song along with that scene. And he saves Iris, and it is just a wonderful introduction to why the Flash is by far the most badass speedster in comic history, period. And I love the fact that they are using the best parts of Barry Allen and the best parts of Wally West in their Flash. I think Ezra Miller is great. Going on to the next MVP. The next MVP, which is Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Now, I've taken some shots at her about her acting, but she's fucking Wonder Woman. It doesn't matter if she's not the greatest actress, because she's just fucking Wonder Woman, and everything she does just makes you feel for this character. Plus, her action is epic in this movie. When she fucking does her action, when Gadot does the faces for action, that's when she's at her fucking best. When there's one bit where she pulls out her shield and re-ropes her lasso, and the way she does that and the way Zack Snyder choreographs that, it is so badass. The only problem with this Wonder Woman, and this is nothing to do with Gal Gadot, is they need to amp this Wonder Woman's power up. She should have been given, she should have been given a bunch of fucking of those little, the parademons. She should have been going through them like nobody's business. She should have been taking out 50, 20 of them, just like flying through them, and then giving, being much, much more closer to Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf still could have been stronger than her, but not that much stronger than her. She should have been the powerhouse before Superman steps in. And her fight with Superman should have gone on longer. Gal Gadot deserves that for everything she's done for the DCEU universe, how she's been able in this DCEU universe to elevate it with that Wonder Woman movie, so that she was the hope, the glimmer of hope that made this universe, that allowed us to give this universe a little bit of a touch. Oh, cool. So I'm gonna send a link in. So Gal Gadot was, as I said, just the little scenes, and she should have been given more to do in this movie. This is Wonder Woman. Stop treating Wonder Woman like she's not on Superman and Batman's level. That's one of my problems with this. Look, we're living in some feminist Me Too times up era. Now, there's things I have problems with this era, but there's things that this era is getting right. And Superman and Batman, she's Wonder Woman. She's part of the DC Trinity. Treat her with fucking respect. Gal Gadot is doing an excellent job with everything she's being given. Zack Snyder, you did your thing with her action scenes. I like what you did with her action scenes. They were great. But having said that, she should be equal to the Trinity. She should have been right there, coming up with the idea for recruiting the Justice League. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm finally here. Sorry about the delay. I had some extra shifts on the work, and yeah, I kind of forgot about this.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. We're talking about the Justice League right now. Sorry, give me 1 second. Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Fenrir, I was just doing, I've just been ranting about the Justice League, and I was talking about my MVPs. So, at the MVPs of the film. So, let me just finish this quickly, and then I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? So,
All right.
as I was saying about Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, I thought she was excellent in this movie. Gal Gadot, she's got some limitations in terms of her acting range, but where she makes up for that is her charm and her natural charisma, and essentially, you know, I think she needs to be given a lot more to do in terms of being equal to Batman and Superman in the DC Trinity. This is a time where women are, coming out and doing more. You need to put Wonder Woman up there for women in the audience to see that she is their fucking equal. She's not just some love interest for Batman to, score on like she's Catwoman or something. You need to give her that respect. So she was the second MVP for me, and the third MVP for me was Henry Cavill as Superman. In 3 minutes, he made me care for his Superman more than in 2 movies, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. He made me care for him. Third, lastly, was Batfleck. I loved him. He was really good in this movie, but for me, least interesting to me. Maybe he was a little bit better than Aquaman, but the least interesting to me and least improved from the Justice League. So I do think he was really, really good, though. So thank you, Fenrir, for sticking with me with that.
No problem.
Can I ask you, who did you like? Who was your MVP? What did you think of the film, first of all? What was your general impression of the film?
Well, I thought the film was great. The more additional parts they gave us actually made a lot more sense than the Whedon version. And I really loved the callbacks with Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. I'm really excited. I really wish this would have been the first movie because I would love to have seen those two in the movie. I mean, they just had to. I'm just saying, give us Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, get rid of Cyborg, give us the 2001 team song, and we got a Justice League right there.
Wow, you're not even giving Cyborg props for his role in this, man. I like Cyborg in this. I like Cyborg
I know. He was good. He was good. I know he was good, but still,
and his mother,
to me, Cyborg is a titan.
I know what you're saying, bro, but this is the first time I've been interested in Cyborg in my fucking life. You know how I felt about Cyborg. Even though I thought Ray Fisher was good in the last movie, in the last Justice League, and I wished him the best. I hoped that he had a career. I knew that this guy could do like really great movies. He should have been in movies like Judas and the Black Messiah, like things that will stretch his acting skills, right? I saw this young man one day, getting an Oscar nomination for something that he's done that's a serious performance. But
yeah, and he was good. He was good, but still.
But I didn't give a shit about seeing a Cyborg movie, about Cyborg after the Justice League. In this movie, hell yeah, I'd see a Cyborg movie. I'm straight up. I must be going crazy or something, because after this, especially with his mother was so good. The relationship he had with his mother was so good. His dad was on point. Silas Stone, I was misty-eyed a few times in this movie, man. It got me emotional. The relationship that the Flash had with his dad, Henry Allen, and the relationship that Cyborg had with his dad, that shit got me misty-eyed, bro.
yeah, it was heartfelting. It really grabs you into this thing. These are the things that really help in a movie. Scenes like that.
Yeah. So do you agree with me? I think this is one of the best DC movies. I'm still.
Yeah.
I'm still
It
not.
is.
I can't be absolutely 100% sure, but like I still, for me, it's got to be. Is it better than The Dark Knight?
Dude, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna throw my hat on the fire yet. I mean, is it better than The Dark Knight? I mean, can we say that even? I mean, can we even say that yet?
The action.
Yeah, I know. Still though, it's a classic. It's a classic.
Darkseid wasn't in it that much, right? But Darkseid speeches were live.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say when I saw
step on your bone.
Dude, when I saw dude, when I say one of the scenes that freaked me out the most was literally seeing Darkseid's hand on Superman's shoulder. That kind of freaked me out.
All right. So this is my thesis on the movie. You haven't been watching, so I'm going to tell you my thesis on the movie. My thesis on the movie is this: Zack Snyder did not film his true vision of this movie was never filmed, because after BVS, right, they were already in production for him to do Justice League, and they told him, hey, bro, you ain't doing your dark fucking movies anymore. You ain't making Superman into Dr. Manhattan anymore. We've had enough. You're putting Superman and the Justice League and Pa Kent and everyone in this fucking movie. Pa Kent is going to be Pa Kent. He's going to tell Superman to fly, to do good in this world. I don't care how you do it. Even if he's going to do it as a voiceover, he's telling Superman to do the right shit. Yeah. So
exactly.
Zack Snyder was put on a fucking leash in this movie, and it was good for him because I'm serious. It was good for him because basically what it meant is you actually had the Justice League, but with Zack Snyder's action and visuals.
Exactly, and he really does know how to make actions and visuals perfectly. I mean, did you see 300?
Yeah, no, I've seen 300, but this is why I'm saying this is the best superhero movie of all time, in my opinion. This is the best superhero movie of all time. And I might be gassing it because I've just seen it like a couple of times. I've never seen superpowers envisaged like this. Never.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think even better than the MCU's equivalent of how they use superpowers.
Dude, they don't have a fucking... I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier today, and I'm going to do a review on that. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad, right?
No, it's not bad.
It reminds me of how pedestrian the action is in those fucking movies, man. In comparison to Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is a genius when it comes to shooting these. I don't know any director apart from
True.
There's a very few that can shoot action in the way he does. And when you think about this, he's creating whole new visual languages of how to show a speedster's powers, how to show a Kryptonian's powers.
The way, I was amazed by the way Flash literally stopped the debris from falling to the scientists.
Exactly. Cool. That was what I was like, oh my God, when he did that. I was like, I don't even know what he just did, but it was fucking
literally, to show the Flash has had numerous speedster characters, having them doing numerous shit, but I haven't actually seen any of them do something like that and actually amaze me.
Yeah, that scene. Do you know what scene fucking gassed me up about like this? I called the Flash the MVP of this movie. From Ezra Miller's performance, which fuck you, anyone who's an Ezra Miller hater, I don't care anymore. I don't care. I was a little bit on the fence. I was there with you a little bit, but I still thought that Justice League, it wasn't his fault. It was what he was being written to say. And actually, when something was funny in Justice League, he actually nailed it. It was just he was given a lot of unfunny lines to say. So in this movie, he was good all the way through. But the one thing that fucking gassed me up the biggest, where I was like, I was jumped out of my chair, was when the Flash, right? He's I think he's trying to save Batman or something, and the parademons are shooting at him. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
So the parademons are shooting at him. Can you see me on the screen at the moment?
Yeah, I'm looking at you right now, making moves with your hands.
Okay, so they're shooting him, and the Flash is just flash moving around the shots. And there's one bit where he stands at the door, like he's just dodged it, like, you know, because he's still, even though he's that fast and he's that powerful, he's still like, he's not really a warrior. Do you know what I mean? He's not like Wonder Woman or, you know, or Batman or, you know, or Aquaman. He's just a kid who's got these Flash powers, right?
Yeah.
Or not just a kid, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
around his 20s, early 20s, maybe.
Yeah, and he stands at the door, letting I was just like, oh my god, the visual inventiveness of what Zack Snyder did here. And I've always been saying, like, I don't understand why people always go on about Quicksilver and his scenes in those, you know, X-Men movies. Dude, all they did was slow down the camera. They do realize that, right?
Yeah, but still, it was pretty cool.
They basically did the same thing as the intro of Fight Club. That's Quicksilver's super speed.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, the speed up, cool. The music, it was pretty cool.
What in the X-Men you're talking about with Quicksilver?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not cool. But it's not in terms of directing, right? Oh, how can we show somebody moving so fast, right? All they did was slow things down. That's all they did. This one used so many different techniques to show how the Flash is moving. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just completely on a different scale of how they were showing the different ways. Yes. Sometimes they just slowed down. Sometimes they were using lightning. Sometimes they did bullet time. They just you know, it was like watching the Flash, like in real life, like how you might see it. It was incredible. I'm sorry. And then when he went into the Speed Force, anyway. So, what did you think? What did you think of the Flash? And sorry, let me ask you this, because I've given my MVPs and whatever. How would you rank the Justice League members, and what were the standout performances to you in the film? Well,
Cyborg, he had at least a 7.5. Gal Gadot, a 9.5. Superman, 10. Batfleck, at least 9.7, because I still think we still need a lot more from Batfleck. Aquaman, well, he's around the 7.1. 7.1, because I still think he was a little in this movie. He was a little, what's the word I'm looking for? He was a little put down a little bit. I mean, yeah, he was cool, especially in his scenes were all cool. But
I get what you're saying with Aquaman, but I like the fact that he was the one who was like, you know, he was like who's that guy in Fast and the Furious? The Tyrese.
Yeah.
You know, have you see the Fast and the Furious movies?
Yes, I've seen them all. I don't think there's a human being who hasn't.
Yeah, okay, all right. I haven't really seen. I've only seen one of them. But there's Tyrese, who's always like, you know, when they're coming up with a crazy plan, he's like, "This is a bad idea."
The one who makes the distraction.
No, he's the one who's like, "This is a bad idea, man. This isn't going to work all the way through." And I like the fact that Aquaman was doing that in this movie. It was funny, like sometimes where he was just like, "Dude, this is a bad idea. This guy doesn't look well." You know, like he was, because in the other movie, in Justice League, and I did like this about Diana in Justice League, to be fair to Josh Whedon, she didn't want to bring Superman back as well as Aquaman. So it was Aquaman and her who were a bit skeptical of bringing Superman back. But in this one, Aquaman became funnier to me because he was the only one doing that. Because he was my voice. I'd be like, "Don't, are you fucking crazy? What if Superman is like he has no memory and comes back evil, or like comes back as a Bizarro Superman or something? You want to just unleash that on the world?" I would be that one. So I was through Aquaman being the skeptic. So I know what you mean, though. He was probably the weakest character. Only because all of them were like 9 somethings in this movie. Like they were all so good. So go on.
And I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, now I have a question for you. Okay, you saw the scene with Martian Manhunter when we thought it was Martha, but then turned out it was just John in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that scene? From these general images, from that scene to the one where he goes to meet Bruce, how exactly at what point do you put this character? Does he actually give you interest in anything?
Well, Martian Manhunter, I'd always have interest in him. I mean, look, I don't understand why they would have taken away Martha's best scene in the movie and given it to Martian Manhunter. I think that's fucking silly. I think that was the stupidest thing in the world. Like that, finally we get a Martha Kent who isn't telling Superman, "Oh, you don't owe the world anything." She's actually being Martha Kent, telling Lois Lane, giving her the strength to go get back into the world and go back to work. And it's Martian Manhunter. I didn't like that. Yeah. They could have done his reveal with his bad CGI reveal with anybody else, right? Yeah. Martian Manhunter is definitely one of my negatives in this movie. But nonetheless, the fact that at least Zack Snyder wants to bring characters like him into the world is much more interesting to me than what Warner Brothers has in mind now with bringing Zatanna and fucking Batgirl and Supergirl and all of this bullshit. I'm not interested. Yeah. I want Green Lantern. I want Martian Manhunter. Those are the guys who we should be concentrating on.
It's super disoriented. Too many shows, no exact order. I mean, what's the point? It's just too much thing for anyone to watch.
Yeah, exactly. So go on. So you were saying Aquaman was your least. Oh, you said that it's 7.5 for Aquaman.
Yeah. So Ezra Miller's Flash.
Ezra Miller's Flash was the MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What was Ezra Miller's Flash? Sorry, I didn't get a number. Go on.
Yeah, Ezra Miller's Flash. Well, I'm feeling very. I'm feeling chaotic about this character. I don't know how to point out a number because I liked how the character was probably used, how it was. This version was better, but I'm still not super on the actor. Still don't think Ezra Miller can cut it.
I don't understand that, man. It's like I watched it. He was excellent. There was a couple of cringy jokes, but I feel like the Flash is a little bit cringy sometimes with his humor. He is a little bit geeky. Yes. So that's him. It's not like I don't feel the humor was forced in there unnaturally. And I think most of the time he was a clever guy. He was a scientist. He was doing his thing. It's a little bit out of order. I don't know how he's supposed to have been working in the labs when the lightning hits him. So I don't understand how his origin works. Because he's supposed to be working in the labs when the chemicals and the lightning hit him, right? So I don't know how that's going to work in his origin, which I presume they're going to explain in the Flashpoint movie. But yeah, I mean, I just want them to do the Rick Famuyiwa Flash now. I really do. I just want them to stop what they're doing and do the Rick Famuyiwa Flash back to back with Flashpoint. If you've got all the production ready for Flashpoint, just do it back to back. Put out two Flash movies in a year.
Look, if HBO Max was actually smart and actually had an idea for DC, I would have suggested they, instead of making more movies, they would have tried to do something a live action show, probably, because they do have the resources for such a thing. A live action show,
Mm,
probably they could base it around the old Justice League cartoon. It was
mm,
done,
mm.
so it is proven it could work. The Justice League could work in an episodic way. They can bring up numerous storylines in it and new characters, and they can do this way before the Flashpoint event happens. And
Yeah,
even when it happens, the movie, they could keep up the show and replace anything they wanted because the Flashpoint could literally alter anything at the smallest detail.
dude. I honestly, I have to say, I just completely disagree with you on that. Well, didn't you like the scenes he had with his dad, and with the scene he had with Kirstie Clements, where he saved her? You didn't like that?
Yeah.
This guy, look. I sometimes I think Zack Snyder has too many ideas, but
too many ideas to even begin making one single plan. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got too many ideas for his own good, and I think this movie tried to temper a lot of that and reduce it down to something a little bit more manageable, right? Like his ideas were a little bit more manageable. But one thing I'll say about the Flash in this movie was I love the inventiveness of how they displayed his powers, and I think that Kirstie Clements scene, without like him saying much, the two actors did so well just acting that out. And I love the fact that Zack Snyder thought about this, that if he saves her with his super speed at full speed, like he just grabs her, that he would kill her. So he softly, gently works out a way to put her to the ground. He has to tap her to the ground, basically, to ensure that he doesn't fucking with his super speed just murder her.
Eradicate her power into mush.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was brilliantly clever. I sometimes I think Zack Snyder overthinks things with like like the water bubbles in Atlantis and stuff. The Atlanteans not being able to speak underwater, they speak like dolphins. That's cool. I actually quite like that. It's really it's weird to think, but that's actually quite clever. That instead because you can't speak underwater, obviously you'd just be but if they speak like dolphins with echolocation, then
it would be and this would be a sick idea. It is a sick idea, but I think this is some kind of crazy call into one of Aquaman's old-time romances where he literally had sex with a dolphin. Not a joke. This happened. Old school comics were weird.
Nice.
They were pretty weird back then.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, what were your negatives of the film?
Well, we already talked about the one. Okay, bring it out.
Oh, you want? I was going to give you a chance because I wanted.
Okay, then let me speak. First of all, my big problems are these ones. I think Darkseid deserved a bit more screen time. I love what they did with him, but I think he deserved a lot more. To show even how much of a threat he is. I mean, this is the guy whose voice alone can scare armies.
Do you know what I would have done with Darkseid? I'm going to tell you an idea and tell me what you think of this, right?
Okay.
I think the Trinity should have been the big heroes at the end of this movie. I like the fact Flash and Cyborg did their thing, but I mean, in terms of the last thing, like the last blow to Steppenwolf, I think it should have been a Trinity moment. It should have been each one of the Trinity doing their thing, right?
Just like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor against Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg should have sorted out the Mother Box situation, and it should have been the Trinity, the hero moment once the Mother Box situation had sorted, to send Steppenwolf back through the portal towards Apocalypse, right? So in this version, I don't like the Justice League killing. I'm sorry. I just don't like them unnecessarily killing. I don't like Wonder Woman doing it in the beginning of the movie, especially with humans. Especially with humans. Like, I can take... But let me just finish this point. So tell me what you think of this. Because you were saying about Darkseid, right? instead of Wonder Woman chopping off the head of Steppenwolf, wouldn't it have been great if Wonder Woman and Superman, right at the end, once Steppenwolf had realized he's fucked and he's just stuck with the Justice League, that Wonder Woman and Steppenwolf had Wonder Woman and Superman had to punch Steppenwolf really, really hard through the portal, so he went smack past, past Darkseid, like through the portal, right? And then Darkseid, he's basically on the floor. He's on the floor like, like fuck. And Darkseid just uses the Omega beams to blast Steppenwolf out of existence for failing him.
Oh my god!
Wouldn't that have been much better?
Oh my god, that would have been glorious, especially if they had an amazing CGI for the Omega beams.
It would have been so much better.
And to show that he does not accept failure. You fail him, you die. No second chances.
Yeah, he doesn't even look at him. He's standing, like, looking at the Justice League, right? And Steppenwolf is behind him, like, all fucked up from being punched by Superman and Wonder Woman. And then he blasts his Omega beams. They go over his head and fucking kill Steppenwolf. That would have been so much better. Like, you could have still had a badass Justice League, final moment. I would have somehow got Batman to do something in that. Like, maybe he's the one who finds a way to close the portal or something. He knows the science to close the portal or some shit like that. And you get Wonder Woman and Superman doing their thing.
Yeah.
I had nitpicks with the movie. I didn't like that Wonder Woman was. I think Wonder Woman should be more powerful. I still don't like the fact that Superman just beats the shit.
I always thought. Look, in the comics, it is literally shown. Wonder Woman is literally at the same level as Superman, and Aquaman can literally do the same. I've seen Aquaman literally punch Superman so strong that he bleeded.
You're right, exactly. Aquaman's fucking strong. To be fair, I know you care about Aquaman, so I'm not gonna like dunk on Aquaman at the moment. But to be fair, I didn't mind that much about Aquaman. But you're right. Aquaman in the comics can fucking take on, he can take on Superman. Superman will probably eventually win. I'm not saying, but there's no way Superman just knocks out. He doesn't hold Wonder Woman and fucking Aquaman in his arms like they're nothing. I mean, think about the logic of what that's saying. I mean, it's just insane. What is the point of the Justice League? I still don't get it. What is the point of them?
Yeah.
Go on.
Superman is powerful. Yeah, Superman is powerful. He's a planet destroyer. But Earth has a lot of metahumans that are literally planet destroyers too. Literally. Yeah. Captain Adam, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and many others more, actually. Martian Manhunter, Shazam, Green Lantern, even Green Lantern, he has his moments. These are top-tier characters that can literally handle their... Yeah, the infinite punch thing. Yeah, these are all characters that can literally kill Superman if given the time. They can take him on.
Right. They could take him on. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact he's just... the lasso of truth. She wraps it around him. He's able to just fuck her up with that. She's got faster reflexes. That should have been an epic... Do you know that would have taken this scene into... I don't know if I would have lived through this movie. I may have had a heart attack. If it was a full-on fight between the Justice League and Superman, where Superman is, he's giving them the business, but they're giving back. And Wonder Woman has a proper, like, Feyora-style fight with Superman. Do you imagine that? Wonder Woman going at Superman like Feyora, like using her warrior skills against him, and then eventually he overpowers her with like a blast, somewhere, like he blasts her at some point.
Here's another idea I would have had if I would literally work on WB, I would really suggest Justice League show, and this was what I would suggest: an episode. There was this episode in the old Superman cartoon where the Phantom Zone was opened and it freed a female Kryptonian. I would have done something like that. Put her on this world, made her go evil, like in the main original story, had her go against Wonder Woman, bam, bam, bam. This is a show. This is a show, literally all over town.
Yeah, exactly. Superman's like, I don't punch women, but meet my friend. And something like that. And then Wonder Woman just goes at it with a Kryptonian. I also think just from a business perspective, this is Wonder Woman, dude. She's really appealing to women. Like women like really love Wonder Woman, right? And I think they want to see a really powerful female character in the DC that can take.
Yeah, and a lot of guys like Wonder Woman too.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, it will appeal to all quadrants. And I just think that Wonder Woman should have given Superman a bit more of a fight. And I think Flash was redeemed by the end. It was clear that Flash was faster than Superman by the end of this movie. And I liked that a lot. Because if that wasn't corrected, I would have, now I can forgive that scene where Flash
it was annoying. In the Whedon, it was annoying because it seemed like they were actual toe-to-toe in matters of speed. And that was freaking annoying.
Yeah, that was really pissed me off with the Whedon cut.
Superman's speed is biological. The Flash's is literally given by an interdimensional force. Right, there's no sense in that.
And what I was, I gave Justice League a much harder time and a much worse criticism than it actually deserved, and I have to admit that now because I watched it the other day and it is actually better than I remember. This movie is vastly superior, but Justice League is actually better than I remember. But because I was so sickened by specifically the Flash, I was pissed off by Wonder Woman a bit, getting beaten up by Superman, but specifically the Flash, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Superman's gonna race with Flash and go catch up Slowfolk.
Yeah, it does make sense.
I was like, dude, I have no interest in your Flash movie anymore. I'm sorry. When I saw that, I was like, I have no interest in the Flash movie anymore. He's a punk. The whole of the Justice League were made to look like a bunch of pussies in Justice League 1. And this one, I was loving Wonder Woman up until she faced Superman. Everything she was doing up until she faced Superman was awesome. And then after that, she just went down for me. Yeah, she chopped off Steppenwolf's head, but she needed all this help. She didn't do it herself. She couldn't even pull Steppenwolf down with the lasso. It was just like she became weak. After, she saved Batman a couple of times, but anyway, just generally, they need to. It's a minor quibble, but they need to. It's a minor quibble, but they need to sort out Wonder Woman. Hopefully, he'll come back. Because this was a good conversation. So the last thing I'm going to talk about in this movie, this has been fucking really longer than I was expecting it to be. But the last thing I'm going to talk about in this conversation about the Justice League was I have to talk about this end bit, this nightmare scene. Cool, man. So Fenrir's going to come back. So I've got to talk about this nightmare scene with the Justice League. Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League. As I've said before, I think Warner Brothers gave this guy notes and helped him shape his talents, his incredible visual stylings, so that he could actually fulfill the promise of what a Zack Snyder movie could potentially be within the DCEU. And he fulfilled that in this movie much more than he has in any other movie, bar some little criticisms about like what I've said about Wonder Woman and all of this kind of thing. So what do I have to say about that? He got free reign to do some reshoots, and I think it's about 10 to 20 minutes of reshoots on this Nightmare Earth. And I thought every single solitary second of the Nightmare universe was absolute garbage. I didn't like any of it. And I don't mind that movie being made for all the Snyder fans out there who want to see that movie and want to see that reality. I don't mind that being made. But please, for the love of God, don't make that the sequel. Let the Justice League face and what they've come together finally. We want to see. I want the Snyderverse. Look, I want Snyder Justice League to continue. I don't want the Snyderverse to continue. I want Snyder's Justice League to continue insofar as he's given some rules. Insofar as he's coupled with maybe Chris Terrio again or another good screenwriter to actually help him mold a really, really good second movie. And enough with this nonsense, because everyone will be like, oh, it's genius, and it's great, and hats off to him. But they're forgetting why this movie is good. The movie is good in the bits where the Justice League are together and they're the Justice League. They're fighting together. They're doing things together. And we've just got them together and we like them as characters. I don't need to see them in a dark, depressing, twisted universe yet. We need time to love them even more. Give them a few solo movies. So yeah.
Okay, I'm back. My Wi-Fi went down.
Man. No problem.
My Wi-Fi went down.
And you sound better as well. That's really good. So I'm talking now about my worst part of the movie, and I didn't like a single solitary shred of this part of the movie. Do you know what it is?
What is it?
I'm just wondering if you guess. It's the nightmare scene, dude. That nightmare scene is a fucking nightmare. It's my nightmare. I'm gonna wake up in cold sweats if this movie is so popular that that Zack Snyder's given free reign to make that movie.
Oh, the nightmare thing where the one with Mera, Deathstroke, Cyborg, and the Flash.
Yes, all of that garbage.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I know Darkseid's a huge threat, but what is it with the movie industry and giving the post-apocalyptic superhero idea the biggest chart of it?
Look, I didn't
like the nightmare thing. Yeah. Even in the first movie.
I didn't look. You like all of these characters now, right? There's not a single one of the
yes, I like them all. I even Mera, despite the whole. I even like Mera, despite the whole Amber Heard thing.
I liked Mera in this. I gave a shout out. I don't care. Like, her personal life's her personal life. I'm talking about what was on screen, and I like this interpretation. She was doing some weird English accent. I didn't get it, but I was a little bit turned on. I was like, cut off my finger, baby. So she was doing her thing. She did some blood-bending thing to fucking Steppenwolf. I thought that was hard. That was another little inventive little thing that Zack Snyder did in this movie. So
yeah, he really knows how to use these characters' powers.
Yeah, exactly, and to show it visually. But so I like all of them now. I want to see them on a couple of adventures before they go off into fucking post-apocalyptic world where they all hate each other, and once again it's Batman v Superman.
I mean, hey, give me a minute. I need to do something.
That's fine. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder is literally killing off in a world. Again, I'm just gonna again, this is a Me Too feminist universe that we're living in. And Zack Snyder is killing off 3 powerful females in the DCE universe just to further the story of 2 men fighting each other for no fucking reason. So what am I talking about? In this nightmare scene, Wonder Woman's dead, Harley Quinn has been killed, right? And they even mention the Lois Lane and Harley Quinn. The Joker mentions Lois Lane and Harley Quinn as being dead so that they could further the plot and the story of Superman and Batman fighting each other again. Didn't we just do that in BVS? Do we need that again right after we've just done this thing in yeah, we just did it in BVS. We just saw that Batman v Superman. Every fanboy who splurged over The Dark Knight Returns and been like, oh, it's the most awesome comic book movie of all time. Love it when Superman and Batman fight. Batman, with enough prep time, he can beat anyone. You've seen it now. Batman can beat Superman. You saw it in BVS. We need to do that again in the fucking Injustice universe or some future thing where Darkseid is controlling Superman. Miss me with all of that bullshit.
Now, this is why I don't like seeing. This is why I don't like when Batman fights other superheroes, because we already know he's gonna win. Literally, just give him time; he'll win. No questions asked.
We've got it, and think about that. Think about what the critics. If he actually does this, because he's got some goodwill right now, Zack Snyder, because one, this movie is good. Right, and then secondly, all of the things that's happened to him with his daughter and stuff like that. So he's got a lot of goodwill, but he's still got a ton of haters. And if he kills off 3 women just to set up conflicts between male characters, Batman and Superman and Joker, he kills off two of the most popular female characters in the DC, Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman, and then just makes another film about Batman v Superman, you best believe that will tank.
You're gonna be pissed.
That will tank the whole of the DC universe. Feminists will come out of the woodworks and denounce this movie. I'm not lying. I wouldn't care about that kind of side of things. I'm telling you, that's how they're going to do it.
I know. Literally, I know. He should most likely ignore them because, again, this is to move the story, but still, they are going to be pissed, and it's just too much of a headache for anyone producing a movie. So, yeah, he needs to be smart with this.
He needs to be smart. He's done a good thing. He set up the Justice League well. Give them a couple more movies together. If he wants to continue, and if Warner Brothers and him and everyone, and we can end this toxicity in the fandom and just accept, hey, he did a good job. Let's give him another chance, slowly. Don't let him take over the whole universe. Let other directors do their own thing with their own movies. Give him maybe, just say, all right, Zack Snyder, what would you do with a Justice League movie where Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Cyborg, Green Lantern, Aquaman are alive through the whole movie? What can you do with that movie for me? That's what I would be saying if I was Warner Brothers right now. Just go back with Chris Terrio. Get me an idea for a Justice League movie where Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash, Martian Man. Oh God, it's so many of them now, though. Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern are in this movie. What would you do? Go read comics, do whatever you have to do, and then come back to me with a story. Once you establish them over maybe 2 movies, then we'll come back and we'll think about you doing, killing off all of the Justice League, so you can do another Batman v Superman, dick measurement movie. Fenrir, are you still there? All right, Fenrir's cut out. So yeah, that's my main complaint. The Joker was ridiculous. Absolutely fucking ridiculous in this movie.
The whole we live in a society. The whole we live in a society thing.
Yeah.
That kind of killed it for me.
Oh, you liked it.
No, I wouldn't say exactly liked it, but it was okay. But still, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure in the post-apocalyptic world where everything is dying in chaos, in endless chaos, Joker will pretty much be around still laughing.
Yeah. Look, I'm done with it now. Look, Jared Leto, you had your chance. All right. I'm sorry. I know you're a fantastic actor. He's a really fantastic actor. I love him in most things. Enough of your Joker. Enough. A reach around to Batman? What was that? I didn't even know what he meant. Did he mean like he was giving a reach around, a sexual reach around to Batman? What did he mean by that?
Yeah,
do you remember that? Do you remember that?
We'll never know.
What are you talking about? That's it. That's your Joker done. You're giving reach arounds to Batman. I'm done with you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Batman to Joker, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Done, bro. That's it. Tell you what. Bring fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Take him out of that world. Bring him to this world. I don't give a shit how you do it. He's the Joker now, for me.
Yeah. Hey, nerd man, give me a second again. I gotta take care of a phone call.
Yeah. No. Joaquin Phoenix is the Joker now, for me. Bring him to do multiverses of Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix can be the Joker in this world, the Joker in his own movie that he did, and he can be a separate Joker for Robert Pattinson. I do not give a fuck. Jared Leto has had his chance as the Joker. Jared Leto has had his chance. He tried. He's a good actor. He was given a raw deal, bad material. I am sorry. The reach around comment with Batman, which I don't even understand what the fuck he's talking about. Who will give you a reach around? I don't know what that came out of. He's killed Dick Grayson. None of it. I don't give a shit about any of it. He's laughing there when Superman comes like he's some badass or something. I don't understand why this Joker is here. Bring Joaquin Phoenix from his universe. He's got so much more swag as the Joker. I believe him much more as the Joker. Bring him and just take him into the DCEU. He had a solo movie where he was just a Joker in an alternative world. Just bring him from that alternative world and make him the Joker in this DCEU. I'm sorry. But that's really it. I mean, I thought the main body of the movie before the nightmare scene was brilliant. I thought it was masterful. I thought the action, the cinematography, the score, all of it worked so well. And what I would really love to see is Warner Brothers just say to Zack Snyder, just tell Zack Snyder. It's not like Zack Snyder's a collaborative guy. Clearly from this movie, he will take notes. Just tell him, dude, we want a Justice League movie 2 and 3. Before you go on to your Nightmare universe and face Darkseid, we want a Justice League 2 and 3 where you actually, all of the Justice League are alive and they face off against a couple more villains or enemies before they go on to, face off against Darkseid.
The Secret Six, the Crime Syndicate, or the Legion of Doom. Any of those three works.
Exactly. Do Tower of Babel. Do Brother Eye. You know.
Man, I would have loved to have seen a. I would have loved to have seen a Brother Eye in live action. I would have loved it. I mean, even the Tower of Babel thing. Seriously, if they'd done the Brother Eye, they could even bring in Mr. Terrific, another diversity character. Dude, right there to feed up on the Twitter cases.
I'm really serious. You know what, Zack Snyder? I bet you if they tell Zack Snyder this, he'll love it. He'll get a fucking hard on for this. Get him to do a Tower of Babel Brother Eye. where Batman beats the whole of the Justice League. He will love that. He will love that.
Yeah.
He will get so horny for that.
Or here's another idea.
Yeah. Go on.
And here's another idea. To introduce Vandal Savage, they can do a Justice League Doom kind of thing, where he literally knows who Batman is, steals his plans to kill the Justice League, and hunts them down one by one.
Exactly.
Give
Zack Snyder 3 hours. Tell him you've got 3 hours to tell the Justice League Doom fucking movie, or Justice League Tower of Babel. He'll love that as well. The biblical name as well. He'll love that. If you tell him Tower of Babel, Zack Snyder will splurge. He loves his biblical shit.
Yeah, he loves that crap.
He'll be putting. Just get him to do that for one fucking movie, 2 movies before we go off into this dark universe. Because the DCEU could be salvaged through this movie. It really can be. Could. If you're careful.
It really could.
And it could easily be destroyed. That's why I'm scared of this movie. You know, I'm scared. I had to be honest. I had to be honest that this movie was great. I couldn't lie to people, and just because I have some problems with Snyder, and say, oh, this movie.
Deep down, we're all scared of this movie for specific reasons. If this can go into many directions that are good, but at the same time, it can go to many directions that are just awful if not done right.
Yeah. If I don't, as I said, like, I don't want to join the hashtag Restore the Snyderverse universe yet. Until I know what his fucking plans are for the next movie, I do not want to do that. I just can't. I can't co-sign that. The man's too erratic. He can't be trusted. Just like, give Zack Snyder free reign to do a fucking Justice League movie. He can't be trusted.
He's a creative, and that's the dangerous thing about us. When we're constantly thinking about different things, we just do so much that it turns into a puddle of confusion. Really,
yeah.
We need control.
I mean, think about how many ideas. Think about how many ideas he went through in that Joker Batman conversation. Harley Quinn is dead. Robin's dead. Fucking Superman's evil. Joker and Batman apparently once Joker gave Batman a reach around. It's like there's so many fucking ideas there, and that was Zack Snyder off the fucking chain. He needs to be controlled. And they're gonna regret getting rid of Zack Snyder, because if he goes anywhere else, I mean, if he goes to Star Wars or something else, he's gonna take all of his his followers and his fans with him. What do you think? I've never really asked you. What's your opinion basically on Zack Snyder?
Well, I think he's a creative guy. He literally knows how to do fight scenes. He does them with a specific precision that is quite great. But sometimes, and I'm not throwing this out, I'm kind of still pissed on him for what he said to Geeks and Gamers. I think that was a little bit douchey, but still, I think he is a good director, and with the right crew, the right amount of money, the right amount of creative freedom and control, he can do a very great DC cinematic universe.
Absolutely.
Or not. Depends of literally who's in power. WB really depends on the same person that will be accepting and denying whatever anyone brings for that universe.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I think that if we could unify and somehow give Warner Brothers the message, it would be great. I think we need to find a way as a voice to unify, people with platforms like Jody's Corner, like Poindexter's, like all of these people who have platforms. We need to be able to send them a message and say, yes, we want Zack Snyder, but like in the DC universe, he's proven himself. He's proven he can do things good if with a little bit of oversight. But let's suggest to him to do a certain comic book. Like, yes, we'll take it if he does Tower of Babel. That's what we should say.
Yeah.
Like, and send a fucking petition. We want a petition. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and if Snyder's not good enough and DC doesn't want him, they're still... Okay, you ever heard about this YouTube channel called Bat in the Sun?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Seriously? Seriously, go look for it. They do some amazing things. Literally, the things they do are pretty much love letters to the comic books and their creators. You really got to look them up.
No, I will. I mean, I don't know of it, but why did you mention that?
It's because you can, the way they do their characters, their stories. It's pretty. Some are fresh, some are just complete takes out of the comics. And the way that it's done, it's pretty great. Very inspiring, gives heart, love for the characters. They do great depictions, hire the right actors. Seriously, they especially when it comes to Batman, those guys really like him above all. Even though Joker's pretty great.
No, I know. I mean, obviously, what the DCEU needs is, to stop going back to the same people. It's like Nolan did Batman, and David Goyer did Batman. So let's get them to do Superman. You need to mix up your talent.
And above all, mix it up. But above all, they got to treat Batman with freaking respect. And stop treating him like a guy who just goes around and punches people and shoots them. He is known as the world's greatest detective. Really, just
I think they've got the right guy on that. I think Batman's fine because they've got Matey doing that Batman movie, which I think is going to be excellent. I'm shocked to say this right now, but I was saying that I think the Robert Pattinson Batman is going to be the best comic book movie of all time. Now it's going to be second. I have a prediction. I think that's going to be like everything we loved about Nolan, but better.
Look, let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see.
You're okay. You don't agree with that.
Yeah, let's just wait and see first.
You want to wait and see. All right. But yeah, look, what I want to do is I want to close this stream off, like at the moment and start
Falcon and the Winter Soldier thing?
Well, we can talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier if you want. I'll tell you my impressions of that. Hopefully we'll do a much smaller video. But yeah, we can do that. But if you're up for that, we can do that.
I'm always good. Yeah, I'm always good. I've already done work. Dinner's ready, and I'm just waiting for the time, and I got nothing else to do. I'm pretty bored right now.
Okay, all right. Well, let's do it.
Bored.
I wanted to do one more little smaller chat on Justice League, and then we can maybe move on to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'll split the two videos up.
All right.
Anyone else? Everyone who's joined me in between, thanks for joining me, and this has been an epic, interesting